Hi, everybody. How you doing today? As I kind of get more into the flow of returning to life that's not on vacation, sad though that is, I found myself thinking about a phrase, and it's just kind of been playing around in my head, and that is mundane grace. Not sure where that came from, mundane grace, but I'm wondering if such a thing can exist. Grace, can grace be grace if we don't recognize that it's grace? So let's back up to this a little bit. Let's define the term that grace for our purposes. Let's see, what could it be? The undeserved gift of unconditional love from God, maybe, or something like that. Undeserved, unearned. So whatever grace is to you, that's kind of where I'm coming from, that area of thinking. So there's grace. Is it grace if we don't recognize it? The sun rose and it's a beautiful day. I didn't do anything to earn it. Maybe it's, see, I didn't do anything to earn it. It's just a gift from God. But do I know it's grace if I don't recognize it as grace? If someone else doesn't believe in God and still experiences the same sunny day, is it still grace? I'm not sure. I would see it as grace. I'm not sure that they would. Or it doesn't have to be from God. I may have treated someone poorly, either intentionally or unintentionally, and they turn around and are nice to me. Is that, I mean, that would be grace. That would be a grace-filled moment, right? Is it grace if I don't recognize it as grace? Is the feeling that I have of receiving their love, their forgiveness, their whatever, is that still grace? Sorry, is that still grace? So, can there be mundane grace? Grace that's just, oh, here it comes, it just is the mundane routine of the day. Is it grace if it becomes mundane? Or does it have to be a special gift? What do you think? I don't know the answers to these, but I'm finding it fascinating to think about, and it's making me more aware of the grace-filled moments in my life. When was the last time that you experienced a grace-filled moment? Was it something that someone else exhibited to you, or was it as a gift from God? And then another question arose. We talked about grace last week at the evening prayer service, so I've been thinking about this, mulling it over since Thursday, I guess before. Another question, though, is if it's something that we perceive as a negative thing happening to us, could that be grace as well? For instance, you don't get the job that you applied for that you really, really wanted. And you never know that had you gotten it, something horrible might have happened to you. So we don't know that outcome, or perhaps even that possibility. But we didn't get the job, so is that by grace that we didn't? Or a relationship. You are planning on marrying someone and they leave you at the altar and you're devastated and embarrassed and it's traumatic. But then years later, you find out that that person, I don't know, was a serial killer. It was a good thing that they left you at the altar. Is that grace? What if you didn't find it out? What if they really were still a serial killer, but you didn't find it out? Would it still be grace? Is it possible that everything that happens to us could be a form of grace? And we just don't know it. Is it possible to live as if everything that happens is a form of grace? I don't know. I think that's kind of what we're supposed to be trying to do as followers of Jesus, to trust that God is in charge of everything and that our lives are filled with grace, even the hard moments, even the ones we don't understand. It's a matter of trust, trusting in God's grace. A lot to think about with grace, isn't there? And I have no answers. There's another person to be heard from. And I have no answers, but grace. Grace is fun to think about and embrace. I can never embrace all of the grace that I have. I know that. I know that God's grace is bigger than my ability to comprehend and embrace it. Maybe that's the theme for today. Embrace the grace. The more we can embrace this idea of grace, the more we are able to move through life with an understanding that God is in charge, that God will guide us, protect us, shelter us, shepherd us. Embrace the grace. When we can do that, we're in communion with God. All right, everybody. I think that's the message for today. I never know what the message is truly going to be until I'm into it. True extrovert that I am, thinking outside myself by talking. It's a good thing we don't publish outtakes of prayerful pauses. Anyway, it's good to be back. I hope that you're doing well. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Rochester. A few clouds in the sky, but the sun is gorgeous, and it feels like it's in the high 50s, low 60s today. I'm grateful for that. There's grace in that. We've been up in the 80s. It's been a little too hot for me. But anyway, enough of the weather report. That will do it for the farm report this morning. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining me for this prayerful pause with the pastor. I'm Pastor Deb Swift of South Presbyterian Church in Rochester, New York, and we'll see you back here next time. Until then, God bless. Take care. Be safe. Bye for now.